He's a beloved actor and environmental activist, but I just know him as my friend Ed. Ed Begley Jr. is with me this morning, and it's so great to see you, Ed. How are you?
Good to be back talking to you, Carlos. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know that young guy there behind you, to the Temple of Tranquility and Step on It. That's your book. It's a cool book.
It was fun to write, and hopefully it's enjoyable to read.
Let's talk about the acting part first, and then we'll talk about the environmental activism, because I think that's such a great part of your life. But you have worked with everybody in Hollywood and beyond.
Not true. There's a boom man at Paramount I haven't worked with and a publicist at 20th. And I'm going to have lunch with them next week and clear that up.
Still a best boy and a gaffer.
That's right. Then I'll know everybody. Just a couple of people left.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really interesting. I remember the first time I saw you, I think it was on St. Elsewhere. And,
yes.
And your timing and your comedic timing and your ability to deliver lines is unlike any other. And I think that got you a lot of work. And I think that's everybody's dream in Hollywood, is just to get a lot of work, right?
Exactly. And still be working at age 74. I don't care if you're selling used cars or birdcage furniture. If you're still working after that many years, gosh, that's 46 years I've been in Screen Actors Guild and working. So how lucky am I? Where did I go right, Carlos?
Well, you did everything right. You're a good guy, you work hard, and you get some great roles. And the stories that you tell in this book are very, very much, I think you shed some light on the personalities that you surround yourself with. But you remain Ed Begley. You remain to your core who you are.
I wanted to be in show business because my dad did it and he made it look easy. So I had the bad attitude, though, Carlos, of wake me when I'm famous, I didn't want to do the work. I just wanted a series. Get me on Gunsmoke. Get me on Perry Mason. I want to be on Wagon Train. Not just a one shot. I want to be on every episode. Like my dad could, first of all, pick up the phone and make that happen. Or B, that I would appreciate it if he had done that. So he made me work for it. I'm so grateful that he did, because I went out on interviews and I didn't get any work because I had no skills. And so I started training, and finally, I started to work. But I'm convinced to this day, Carlos, my dad had been a plumber, I'd be fitting pipe now, because I just wanted to do what he did.
That much of an influence in your life, huh?
Definitely.
Well, the thing is, you've carried that on, and I think everybody in town, and I mean Los Angeles town, knows you as that great guy, that easy to work with, always hits his mark, does everything he's supposed to do. And then you seem to push to the edge without making people feel uncomfortable. What is that about you?
Well, it's my wife, Rochelle, pushing me to push to the edge. And before that, I had other great people, great influences on me, pushing me to do better and study and do better. One was Bruno Kirby, and I talk about him extensively in the book, what a great influence he was on me as an actor and as a person. He got very serious about the work, and I studied early on, but I figured, I've got it all figured out now, I'm working. And he kept going back and studying with Peggy Fury and Stella Adler and great people, and in so doing, he just got better and better and worked in Godfather 2 and all these wonderful movies, Donnie Brasco. He was a great actor and a great friend. And so I dedicate the book to him and to Jeanette Pierre, this woman that was like a mother to me, and to my sister Aileen, because they were all the best of the best influences on me.
That's the Ed Begley Jr., the actor, the consummate professional. But I have to say that for years and years and years, I have known you to be the consummate environmentalist. That a lot of people, talk the talk and don't walk the walk. You actually talk the talk, walk the walk. I remember seeing you in some funky electric car 20 some odd years ago, probably longer than that, trying to show people the advantages of having an electric car. Tell me, what was it about environmentalism that drew you there and made you who you are in that regard?
There was some bad influences, and the main one was living in LA my whole young life. 20 years in that horrible choking smog in the valley was enough. It seared your lungs. It really damaged your lungs if you lived with it too long. So that was a motivating factor, because they were going to clean up the air and they're going to clean up the water. That was a promise of Earth Day 1970. So I got involved in that very day and stayed with it. They also said we're going to clean up the water, and I knew that was true too. We had to do a lot of work there. I'd seen the Santa Barbara oil spill. I had heard about, I didn't see it up close, but I heard about the Cuyahoga River, catching fire near Cleveland. I went, that's probably a bad sign when rivers are catching fire. So much toxic chemical on the river, it burned for a while. So I got involved, and now look at our successes. We've had many challenges, Carlos, but even though we have 4 times the cars since 1970, millions more people, we have a fraction of the smog. We've proven that we can do it. So we need to do it about climate change. We did it with ozone depletion by banning CFCs. We can do it if you have corporate responsibility, good legislation, and personal action. Those 3 things are what you need, not just one, you need all 3.
But you were an early leader. I mean, I remember watching you ride your bike to the studio, if you could, riding all the way from the Valley to Wilshire Boulevard, which is ridiculous. I don't know any human being that should be doing that, but you would do that. You would show up at the studio in your bicycle. I also remember Alexander Paul having a twin weirdo electric car. And I always used to say, if they made these cars look like a normal car, maybe I would buy one. And guess what? They're doing that now.
They're doing it now. Every manufacturer has at least one electric vehicle. So we've come a long way, Carlos. Thank you for being part of it, for spreading the word back in the day.
Well, we were happy to. I don't think we completely understood where you were going with it. You were kind of like, I'm going to say it, you were kind of like the oddball in Hollywood. Did people treat you that way?
I definitely was. The Simpsons episodes certainly proved that. They had some fun with me.
Yes.
I did this show Friends, but it was funny stuff and I loved it.
Well, Ed, so what does this book tell us about you?
The title is To the Temple of Tranquility, and step on it, because I tried to rush serenity, and I don't think you can do that, Carlos. You got to let serenity happen the way it happens, the way you can influence your life and find more serenity with the right processes. I tried to find serenity in a Stolichnaya bottle. That's not a good place to look for it. So no. I found other ways, and I now, after many years of sobriety, have just enjoyed a wonderful, wonderful life. I've been working since 1967, and I couldn't have done that if I was still out there drinking and acting wild. So I'm very lucky to have gotten the message as far back as 1979. That's when I finally got well in that important area of my life. And then over the years, eliminated other addictions that I had. I was a gambling addict and other things. So I've, gotten better in all those fronts, and it's a much better way to live.
And so you hope people, when they read the book, will realize that there is a way out of things that can cause you harm and change your life in horrible ways.
Definitely. There's lots of people to help you do it.
To the Temple of Tranquility and Step on It, my friend Ed Begley Jr., thanks so much for being with us. I hope that your success continues. You look like that surfing kid in the book still, and so I don't know how you do it.
Carlos, you're such a good friend. It's so great to see you again.
Take care. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again. The book is called To the Temple of Tranquility and Step on It. Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Carlos.